What if I told you your life isn't actually short? The real problem isn't the number of years you have, but how much of that time gets wasted. Today, we're going to unpack a really powerful idea: how to stop passively losing your life and, start actively living it. Let's get into it.
So let's just kick things off with a question that really puts everything into perspective. What if you knew right now that you had about 4,000 weeks on this planet? It sounds like a big number, but when you frame your entire life that way, suddenly every single week feels incredibly precious, right?
And this is the reality for an average life if you're lucky: 4,000 weeks. And look, that's not supposed to sound grim. It's a wake up call. Every week that ticks by is a resource you can never, ever get back. Okay, so that leads us right into our first big idea here. We have to completely reframe how we think about time. It's not something we just passively lose, like misplacing your keys. It's a resource we are actively spending, whether we realize it or not. We've got to just demolish this myth that time is money. Honestly, they couldn't be more different. See, money, you can always earn more. You can save it, you can even lose it and get it back. But time, it can only be spent. You can't store it in a savings account for later. And once a moment is gone, it is gone for good. Every second is a one-time, non-refundable transaction. So, if time is our absolute most valuable asset, then we have to talk about the silent thieves that are stealing it from us. We think we're just, relaxing, but those 5 more minutes on social media or that 1 more episode on Netflix, well, they add up in a way that is truly shocking. Get ready for this one. The average person spends a staggering 7 years of their life on social media. I mean, think about that. That's not 7 years of genuine connection. That's 7 years of mindless scrolling, tapping, and consuming stuff, a lot of times without any real purpose at all. And it doesn't stop there. On top of that, you can add another 3 years. That's how much time the average person spends just watching television. When you put those together, that is a full decade of your life spent just looking at screens. And here it is, the final blow. 1 full year, an entire year of your one precious life spent simply unlocking and checking your phone screen. These tiny, what seem like harmless habits, they compound into a massive, massive loss of your most valuable asset. The total cost is just breathtaking when you add it all up. 11 years. 11 years of your life just handed over to distraction. But now imagine reclaiming that time. I mean, that's enough time to earn a PhD, write a whole series of novels, or become a master craftsman in pretty much any field you want. The potential for growth is just immense. So how do we fight back? How do we take back that time? Well, we start by getting ruthless with our priorities. And this isn't about doing more work, it's about doing less, but doing the right things. It's about focusing only on what truly moves the needle. And this is where this powerful idea called the Pareto principle comes in. You might know it as the 80-20 rule. It's a really simple but profound concept. The vast majority of your results, we're talking about 80%, come from a tiny little fraction of your actions, just 20%. Everything else, it's often just noise. So your mission then is to figure out what that vital 20% is and then protect it with everything you've got. For a writer, that might be 2 hours of deep, focused writing, not the 6 hours they spend on email and research. You got to ask yourself, what is the one thing I can do today that will make everything else easier or just plain unnecessary? Find that thing, protect it, and do it first. And this gets to a really crucial point. Our culture, it just loves to glorify the hustle, right? Being busy all the time. But a long to-do list doesn't mean you're making progress. You can be busy all day putting out little fires and feel super productive, but if you haven't touched that vital 20%, you haven't actually been effective. It's time to stop honoring to-do lists and start honoring outcomes. But listen, just knowing your 20% isn't enough. You need a system to actually protect it. Because if you don't design your day, believe me, the world will design it for you. Your inbox, your notifications, your own bad habits, they will gladly take control. So you've really got 2 paths you can take here. There's the default day, which is totally reactive. You wake up and just see what the world throws at you. It runs on whatever mood you're in. Then there's the designed day. This one is proactive. It runs on your mission. You tell your time exactly where to go instead of wondering where it all went. Here's a super simple but powerful system you can use: time blocking. First, block out a sacred 90-minute window in the morning for your most important work. That's your 20%. No interruptions. Then, you can handle all those admin tasks in focused 15-minute bursts. And this is crucial. Schedule time at the end of the day, Even just 30 minutes to reflect, to read, to plan, you can turn your calendar from just a record of appointments into a roadmap for your mission.
All right, for this last part, we're going to zoom out from the tactics and talk about a really powerful mindset shift. This is about creating an internal sense of urgency. And I don't mean stress, I mean a clear eyed purpose that just cuts right through all the distractions. The ancient Stoics had this practice called Memento Mori, which literally translates to remember you will die. Now, I know it sounds morbid, but it's actually a tool for living a better life. When you truly acknowledge that your time is finite, it just strips away the ego, the petty arguments, and that fear of failure. It gives you this incredible clarity on what actually matters.
So, the real point is this: the tragedy isn't that life ends. The real tragedy is a life spent on things that just didn't matter to you. The fear shouldn't be of dying, but of getting to the very end and realizing you never truly lived.
So, how do we build this time-rich life? Well, it all starts with energy, because time is pretty useless without it. So that means sleep, nutrition, movement. It's fueled by deep, singular focus. And it's sharpened by a weekly review where you honestly ask yourself, what stole my time this week? And maybe most importantly, it's defended by learning to say no. You have to remember, your time is not a public park. It's a private garden. Protect it fiercely.
So I want to leave you with this one final question to carry with you. As you go about your day, your week, your month, just ask yourself this. If you knew you only had 1 year left, would you still be doing what you're doing right now? Let that question guide your choices, because one day you'll beg for just one more morning. Don't wait for that day. Live now.